Hi, Praveen.
Hello. Can you hear me okay on the line?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's a bit unclear, but we can hear you.
Alright. Okay, let me just try something because I think...
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Just, I want... Just... Hang on.
Say that again, Praveen.
Hang on, I'm just turning something down. Sorry, yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, there was a bit of echo going in the background, but yeah, it's certainly better now.
It's because I had my computer and my phone on at the same time, so it was just confusing each other. Okay.
No, now it's perfect. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just a bit of context for this. So I'm speaking to. Can I just ask who I'm speaking to for this call? And who's going to give me the information?
Could you say that again, please?
Could I just ask who I'm speaking to who's going to be giving me the information for this call?
Yeah, of course. So it's Pam is on holiday, so unfortunately she wasn't able to join us.
Yep.
So it's me. I'm part of the marketing team here at Remilia, and we've got Dr. Ali as well.
Okay.
And he will be more than happy to answer all your questions regarding Remilia's artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, and machine learning.
Sure.
So we've received an email from you with a set of questions.
Yeah.
You gave as an example, and you said that most likely you were going to ask Dr. Ali all these questions. So Dr. Ali prepared some answers to those questions. If there is any additional questions, just fire them away, and we will do our best to answer them as well. So if you don't mind, I'll let Dr. Ali introduce himself, so he will give you a bit of background of what basically where he comes from, what he did at university, and what he's doing now here at Remilia.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Please go on.
Fantastic.
Hello, this is Ali here.
Hello.
Am I speaking to Alison?
Asabin.
I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We got two laptops here, and then the voice gets a bit mixed up. So I'm hearing you from a couple of different directions. So apologies. Right. I'm ready. Whatever you want to take it. Do you want me to first introduce myself, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the article that I'm going to do, it might be more as a form of a kind of interview with yourself. So obviously it would help if you just gave me a bit of background and why you're qualified to be talking about the subject that we'll be talking about today.
Absolutely, yes. So I did my degree in computer science from Aston University in Birmingham, UK. Mm-hmm. Carried on to my master's focusing on project management of IT projects. And then the PhD, continuing from my degree, I focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I finished my PhD about 2.5 years ago, and since then I've taken fellowship, been part of different projects, mainly focusing on artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, and machine learning. So all of them I consider them as part of artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And I've joined Remilia about 8 months ago now.
Okay.
And my project, I'm a data scientist here, so postdoc data scientist. We're looking at forecasting capabilities of Remilia's and their products, and how can we actually predict which customers, which debtors are going to pay how much, and what strategies do we need to make or think in order to make sure on time or in time payments from the debtors. And this sort of thing. So this is sort of the initial or basic or fundamental concept on which my project is based. So my role in Remilia is based.
Okay. So Yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested then, I guess, in your own background. I mean, what made you what made you interested in this area, and what led you to kind of go on the sort of more financial side of things?
Right. You see, artificial intelligence is such a huge topic. It consists of and covers a lot of different areas and concepts. In particular, what I really like about artificial intelligence, and I know that we are going to discuss RPA and machine learning, they all will sort of be part of artificial intelligence. So I'll have to repeat some of the things that I'm telling you now in later as well. What was really important for me, I'm a man of optimization. I really think that things that someone else can do, in some simple words, I shouldn't be doing. And by that I mean things that machines can do, humans shouldn't do them. Instead, us humans, we need to really concentrate our expertise, our time on things that machines are unable to do, making difficult decisions, using our tacit and cognitive knowledge. Because what distinguishes us from computers is that we have conscience, we have a cognitive capability. We are able to think, consider, analyze, and make informed decisions. We are able to provide wisdom. And this is not what machines can do. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need to leave aside a repetitive, boring, time-consuming tasks that takes a lot of time. They're not necessarily difficult to do achieve, rather they take a lot of time. So if, for example, a machine can take information such as your name, your date of birth, so on and so forth, enter it into a database, and then, for example, provide you with the best choice of, I don't know, a car for you or a place to eat, why would I need to take your information, look for a possible, for example, a restaurant online and provide you with a suggestion? Why do I need to spend that time doing that? Whereas when a machine can do that for you. So for me, having an optimized life, having an optimized way of dealing with things was very important, and that really sort of influenced me in wanting to go into artificial intelligence. I feel that the life is very short. We're living in a world that we're faced with so many options, so many possibilities, so many data. I mean, take a simple example of, I don't know, choosing a restaurant, as I said. There are so many different restaurants providing so many different dishes and cuisines and cultures in so many different places and settings that you can see. Seriously, it takes, I guess, it could take hours, if not days, maybe even months, if you want to analyze every single restaurant in area that you live, and then choose the best one for you based on your needs, based on the needs of your family or partner or friends. So even this simple example, we know easily that computers can do that. You can use data, you can go online, look for the restaurant reviews, and that helps you really speed up the process of you finding your most suitable restaurant to go, or your most suitable, for example, car to buy. Really why actually I got really interested in artificial intelligence in data analysis. And there you go, I'm here speaking to you today.
Okay. And I guess the focus was going to be on RPA. So I guess what's important about RPA for you personally? Well, you personally, and for, I guess, for the finance world. Why is it being mentioned in a lot of kind of software literature and things I'm reading around this area?
Right. Okay. So before that, let me make a few statements. Let me look at what actually RPA is. And I always say that in every seminar that I attend or in every speech that I give, is that when it comes to artificial intelligence in general, there could be so many different interpretations or different ways of presenting what artificial intelligence is. or what, for example, RPA is. If people, based on the industry, based on their background, they would provide different explanations, and I believe that all of them are actually true. So what I tell you today might be different, slightly different to what a credit controller or a medical doctor might tell you about RPA or artificial intelligence or data science, for example. So I have to take this statement that whatever comes is actually based on my own expertise, and I have to say this is a mistake that a lot of people will make, a lot of people who come to talk about AI make. They think there is one single clear explanation or description of RPA or artificial intelligence. No, definitely there is not. There could be so many different interpretations, so many different explanations, depending on what you exactly want to get out of artificial intelligence. Having this in mind, what RPA, robotic process automation, is, I would say, any mechanism that automates and speeds up actions and processes that are not necessarily difficult to do, as I said, but rather they are time-consuming and resource-hungry. And depending on the industry and the level of its complexity, it accommodates for various tasks and provides various benefits, such as automation, efficiency, speed, cost-saving, effectiveness, and so on and so forth. Now the question is here, we oversee that now businesses are using artificial intelligence. So what has it got to do with artificial intelligence? Is RPA really an artificial intelligence? Is it really intelligent? Well, artificial intelligence, as I say, is a very broad topic, consists of and covers many different concepts. Robotic process automation, RPA, can be considered as one of the subcategories of artificial intelligence, one of the subgroups of artificial intelligence, which provides us with the automation and support for human actions and behavior. Now, going specifically to what you asked, if I am allowed, I would interpret it in this way. Why is it useful for large businesses? Why is RPA important for businesses, for industry as a whole? So, very simply, obviously, it brings about saving costs, increasing productivity, increasing efficiency, gaining more profit, and making processes simpler and easier. Also, and very importantly, large businesses, what are they looking for? When we talk about large businesses, when we talk about these multi-billion or multinational companies, what are they looking for? They are looking for new opportunities for invention, for creativity. They are usually ahead of their past competitors. So they are constantly looking for those niche and new spaces to progress, to produce new products, or to provide specific new niche services, state-of-the-art services. Now, to achieve that, these large businesses, what they need to be able to concentrate their human resources, i.e. their brain, and their all other capabilities on researching, invention, risking and trying new ways, new technologies and new markets. That's what their large businesses really need to know in order to achieve, to have new creativity, to be ahead of their market. They need to be able to concentrate their human resources, their brain, all the clever people, and all other capabilities, all other resources on research, invention, on trying new technology and trying new markets. Now, to be able to do that, they need to free their resources from having to do, as I said, simple, repeated process. They need to free their brains, their human resources, their staff, anything that you consider as a resource, they need to free that from a simple, repeated decision-making. Artificial intelligence and RPA can, and I'm not saying they always do, but can provide this possibility. RPA is there to free human resources, to free any resources from simple, repeated, time-consuming tasks. And hence allowing businesses to focus on invention, on new areas, on very difficult things that require wisdom and cognitive capabilities. As I said in the beginning, machines, they do not have wisdom, they do not have cognition or cognitive capabilities or abilities. Humans do. So let the humans concentrate on these inventions, on these cognitive requires things that require cognition, require reasoning and thinking. Let them concentrate on that by giving machines, by giving robots these processes that continuously and repeatedly happen on a day-to-day basis. And this is really what RPA brings about for businesses.
Sure. And what kind of advice would you give to businesses who've looked at the technology, maybe have not really kind of used it before, or have any software around it? What would you advise? I don't know, a CIO or CFO who thinks that this technology could really work for them, and how to get started, I guess, or how to really kind of make use of it.
Right. Okay. So this is obviously a very important question, and also a question that is really fundamental to the companies. And this is where the challenge is. Because now everyone these days talks about artificial intelligence, talks about RPA, and again, people are confused between what RPA is, the level of RPA, and how does it differ from artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. So that's where the challenge is. What I would advise the companies, the managing directors, or as you said, the CTOs, and so on and so forth, is to firstly and most importantly really thoroughly understand their own business goals. You might be surprised how many companies are not fully clear as to what their specific objectives and goals are, or they do not have any concrete plan to achieve those objectives. Especially, when you look at sometimes smaller companies, startups, or even sometimes large companies, due to various reasons, you might be surprised they're not always fully clear as to what are they really trying to achieve. So before jumping into using some AI or going about and telling people, oh, we are using AI, we are doing that, let's really understand what we want to achieve at the end of the year from our business, from whether we are providing a service or a product. We really need to have a clear strategy as what are the goals and how are we thinking to achieve that. So understanding, defining our business goals, prioritizing all of them, and then take into account the limitations, constraints, and other matters that your company might face. Because my company's situation is different to someone else's company or a different organization, for example. So I need to understand what my really business goals are. I need to have a clear action plan, and this is what every business should do, and every CTO or managing director know that. So far, everyone knows that we need to understand the business goals, but most importantly, we need to have a clear action plan to achieve those goals, taking into account our limitations, our constraints, and based on that, we break that action plan to achieve those goals. Now, then we have to see for those actions, those tasks that take us to our goals, for which of them we can replace human by machines or computers. It could be that for your company, a simple automation of processes would be just enough, given your constraints and goals. However, in other cases, you or your company would want to have advanced RPA, or let me call it advanced artificial intelligence, using concepts such as machine learning. So the very fact is that instead of me jumping or diving into this ocean of yes technology, yes RPA, yes artificial intelligence, we need to really understand for which aspects of my business, for which of the processes, to achieve which goals I can employ machines, I can employ computers, and then see, okay, now to achieve these goals, what actions do I need to take? And then see to actually do these actions for which of them I can get or I can employ machines and computers to do that. This is really important. Business strategy, business goals, they need to be very clear. Businesses need to have done some thorough understanding of what artificial intelligence, because as I said in the beginning, a lot of people are confused. They say, okay, we're doing artificial intelligence. Okay, what are you doing? Oh, okay, we have some simple automation, automating processes. Now, this is not really necessarily artificial intelligence. Just automating a process, getting data from clients or, for example, a customer, and entering into database. Well, some people call that intelligence, some people not, because, again, it depends on the level of intelligence. So you really need to know what are out there. When we talk about RPA, what is it exactly? There are different levels of RPA. There are different levels of artificial intelligence. When you look at artificial intelligence, it's simple automation to data analytics and machine learning, all the way to applying or employing cognitive science into your machine learning. So trying to mimic human behavior, human way of learning and analyzing, import it into your machine learning model and modify your machine learning model, then use that modified machine learning model to make informed decisions or to extract intelligence from your data. You see, all of these are different levels of artificial intelligence. And depending on your needs, depending on your business goals, you need to employ or use certain aspects or certain level of artificial intelligence. So a very thorough knowledge of artificial intelligence, what is this? It's very important. A thorough knowledge of your business goals and action plans to achieve those goals is also important. You need to have these two, bring them together, then see, okay, how much of the artificial intelligence I need to achieve my business goals.
Sure. And how important would you say digital transformation or that kind of strategy is to kind of really make use of artificial intelligence and RPA?
Well, definitely, I think it sits at the heart of artificial intelligence. Digitalization, automation, centralization and organization of your data and data structures. Because essentially, at least in 99% of the cases, if not 100% of the cases, artificial intelligence is based on data, it's based on information, on previously experienced cases or previously experienced data or gathered data. So there needs to be a very easy, a very effective and efficient way of data gathering, a data centralization, a data processing, and data analysis to be able to extract wisdom and intelligence from this data. So digitalization sits at the heart of that. There needs to be a smooth channel for taking a raw data, very, I would call them naked data, and convert that into clean, organized data, converting that into information, converting that into knowledge, and converting that into wisdom. And for that, you need to have these smooth, soft channels. And for that, you need digitalization, you need automation, you need upgrade to your system, wherever it is.
Sure. And I guess also, what do you think is the importance of people, data scientists, like I guess like yourself in different businesses to really what's your viewpoint on actual people who can sort of manipulate this data or work with it or kind of get the best business insight from it? How important do you think that is?
Well, clearly, if you want to cure a disease, you need to go to the doctor. So if you want to achieve the goal, if you want to get data, get information, get science and knowledge from data, you need data scientists. But what is very important for data scientists, exactly I would say the same sort of thing that I said about CTOs and managing directors. A data scientist who works in industry, especially in finance, they need to really understand that getting intelligence from data, especially in industry, different to university life. In industry, you need to have a very clear idea and clear mindset about the context that you are working with, about the particular industry that you work in. So, if, for example, we are in finance, a good data scientist, a good artificial intelligence developer within finance, they need to try and train themselves to not necessarily be for example, a good credit controller, but to have a very clear idea, a clear understanding of what a credit controller would go through, or what an accountant would go through. Because it's only if I understand what's going to happen in the mind of a credit controller, what's going to happen in the mind of a debtor, which is supposed to pay your company that invoice and this invoice. Unless I understand that, I won't be able to produce a result, produce a piece of knowledge or a piece of, I don't know, even a visualization that would benefit my CTO. I can make for you as a university qualified person, I can make lots of interesting visualization, lots of interesting numbers that makes you go wow. However, when it comes to benefiting, making use of that, then you say, okay, and your numbers do not really make sense or do not really come handy. Why? Because I haven't really understood the context. So for data science, for those who are doing AI within artificial, within industry, especially within finance, they need to have a very, very concrete and a strong understanding of the context, concrete understanding of the processes within the finance back office, for example. So that's really, really important.
All right, great. And one of my questions. Oh yeah, I'm quite interested, I guess, in real practical examples. So, I mean, without having to name any businesses, can you kind of think of any companies that you've worked with, or businesses that you've worked with that have had real benefits with RPA and or the technology that we've been talking about today? And can you just name any examples of that for me?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the past 2-3 years, even when I was doing my PhD, I was collaborating with, was working on a project which was with the NHS, and it was to do really it was inventing a clever dynamic mechanism which helps non-experts, for example, social carers or 111 paramedics, to assess and monitor the risks associated with patients, for example, the risk of suicide or other mental health issues. Now, that also includes, I'm not saying that is RPA, but that includes RPA, the ability to extract data automatically, import it into new models, import cognitive processes of reasoning of doctors, medical doctors or experts, and then make a model that is able to dynamically tell you what information you need to take from patients in order to be able to understand their level of risk. So that was one example. The ultimate aim was to build a software which is hopefully going to be later on soon, I hope, be actually going to go into production and use, hopefully by NHS. That will be of course, it needs to go through its channels and validation. But the ultimate aim was to produce a small software that really takes information, automatically analyzes them, and give you a quite reliable triage of risk. Or, for example, in one of the postdoc projects that I was working with a startup that was using, again, information on health from infants to quickly, in a matter of couple of minutes, assess, as soon as they are born, assess the risk of certain disease that I'm not really allowed to disclose yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting part is that there were, we go into the concept of IoT, I wanted to go into that stuff. The machines, computers were communicating with the cloud, and then that cloud was getting the data, storing them, sending them to machine learning models, analyze them, and then send back the result very quick. So these are all examples of RPA, or of course Remilia is doing great on RPA and on use of artificial intelligence. It's progressive task, you're looking at all different options. You know, we have a huge database of reliable information. So artificial intelligence, you know, it can be used in so many different industries. As I said, my PhD, for example, was in mental health, medical sort of area. One of the projects I worked was again in a medical, but for a physical medical area. Then, you know, I'm working with finance. And there are so many different areas, you know, everything that you can see from you know, because AI contains includes mechanics, includes psychology, includes mathematics, includes programming. And so wherever you go in every single industry, possibly even in marketing, you know, AI is usually being used in marketing, in analyzing, for example, Twitter account or tweets that are made on daily basis, or things that people post on Facebook to really analyze their behavior and suggest, for example, you know, relevant products or relevant services and so on and so forth. So these are all examples of artificial intelligence and, you know, RPA.
Sure. And I've just one last question, which is actually just kind of for my own sort of knowledge, just because I'm writing for them. In terms, as your Sage partner, I wanted to kind of just understand what the relevance of RPA was when it comes to kind of the your work with Sage and the Sage products that it has.
Right. Okay. Well, I have to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. You got to be really in the process of, you know, connecting with media, with Sage, and really need to have a clear understanding of that before we say, okay, how RPA can sort of connect with media or with Sage. So I haven't been part of that sort of project and this collaboration myself directly, so it would be perhaps not really accurate or, you know, reliable for me, not right for me to make a comment on that. However, what I can do, I can surely pass on this question to the relevant bodies, and they can, you know, write a pretty nice, decent answer for you. But surely, what you look at when you look at Sage, there is, you know, a second biggest, you know, multinational company, or British company providing, you know, ERP systems. So even for that, when you are to manage a finance or a finance back office for a company, when you are such a big organization, you've got such a big cloud, you are, you know, dynamically or, you know, accessing and, you know, managing the finance processes for companies, for so many different companies, then surely surely RPA would hugely, firstly, speed up your process, and also would hugely impact positively, of course, the efficiency of your model. So I'm sure, again, because I haven't been part of this collaboration so far, I don't know much about it, but once a Remedial products or services are going to be sort of placed as an add-on or whatever it is going to get, like on Sage, surely the RPA would be able to speed up this process very much. I think I'll keep it to this very simple answer, but I can surely, or even if you write any specific question that you have in this regard, to Kinga or to me, surely can, you know, get back to you with a lot more useful information.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just connected to that, just one last question. I mean, when it comes to, I guess, cloud ERP and RPA, what's the kind of possible relationship between the two? I guess, do you have any kind of insight in that?
Sorry, what?
The relationship between ERP and RPA and the potential that it might have.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Surely, as I said, firstly, like any other, you see, let me tell you this, and this is very important. I think that is at the heart of any ERP. In ERP, you are dealing with a huge pool of data that are flowing into your cloud or system from all different directions. You know, any sort of information that you might think would come to ERP, whether it is about, I don't know, payments, whether it is about this client, whether it is about the payment terms, and so on and so forth. Anything that you would consider to be in ERP, they need data, and these data, especially with huge ERP and, you know, huge all different directions. Now, what RPA, robotic process automation, can do for an ERP is firstly effective data transformation and communication. So transferring data from various inputs to a centralized place, and this is really important. Obviously, I'm sure you know that. An ERP needs a very powerful centralized database. Now, that data needs to be effectively communicated in a safe and secure and reliable manner, which is, safe and secure and very important. Again, depends on when it comes to security, but RPA is really responsible to achieve that. When it is there, how is it going to the archive? It's again something that artificial intelligence can help. And more sort of advanced level of artificial intelligence can tell you how different levels of information, different information, different parts of the information should be organized, archived, and retrieved. Again, next point, how this central data will send data out to various modules, for example, within your ERP. When they are sent out, how these information are again received or retrieved from various modules, then how this analysis will take place. So, for example, a simple example, if your ERP is, for example, just for the sake of the argument, is to analyze the data and give you a percentage of how much of your payment or what percentage of your payment from certain debtors or from certain customers are on time. Now, how this calculation is made, what modules are used, what data analytics methodology are used, they are all can be. I'm not saying they are. They all can be can be provided by RPA, depending on the level of RPA. And let me add you something. Going back to what is very important. Again, people get confused what RPA is. There are different interpretations, as I said in the beginning, and I said in the beginning because of this reason. Would you classify RPA as an enterprise AI tool, for example? Well, yes and no. Yes, because as I said, it comes under the general heading of artificial intelligence. Machine do things for human. And no, because in many cases, RPA does not provide intelligence as such. You see, it's all about the level of intelligence that a machine provides. If by RPA you mean simple process of getting data, as I said, and turning it into database, for example, well, that's not really intelligence the way we want it. But if your RPA is an artificially intelligent machine, then it will be able to make informed decisions for you. And this is artificial intelligence. So in your ERP, sometimes, especially in the advanced modules of an ERP system, you need the machines or you want the system to be able to make informed decisions for you. Now, when it comes to making informed decisions, RPA comes very handy. A robotic process as automation makes the informed decision achievable in a very in a much faster pace and more effective, more costly, economically friendly. So allowing you to make informed decisions without having to spend so much time, without having to spend so much money on paying people, on paying credit controllers or, for example, other users. So RPA is there for you to automate, to speed up the process of making informed decisions in your ERP. And I think that is really, really important within advanced ERP systems, being able to make informed decisions. And in order to make informed decisions, you need effective ERP to speed up and to automate this process.
Great. Thank you for the answers. They've been really, really great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you could kind of also send me a photo of yourself, potentially just for I can use for the article, that'll be really helpful as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
no problem. I'll send it over to Kinga, and then she can be in touch with you. Would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Sabine, before you go, I've got a question. So that article you're going to work on, when will we be able to see the first draft?
I've still got a bit of time. I still got a bit of a delay until I get writing it. But